It is a beautiful day in Currumbin, or I should say on Currumbin. And as I'm filming this, I'm looking, and off in the distance I actually see a whale that is jumping around out there. And you are looking at the sunbathing lady, and that's what caught my attention when I was flipping around on Google a little bit earlier today as far as things I might want to go see. And this is it's actually called, the sculpture is called The Sun Spirit by Frank Miles, 2006, and it's in loving memory of Doreen. And I thought that I would take a little bit of a Saturday drive and come down here to Currumbin. And apparently they have sculptures, like they have a festival here at Currumbin Beach one time a year, and I thought there might have been sculptures here, but apparently this lovely lady is it right here. You see, so this is the sunbathing lady. If you were to look on Google Maps, right here, that's the sunbathing lady, and the sculpture is the sun spirit. So I'm going to do a little bit of a walk and talk. I'll share some of this sculpture with you if I'm able to. So there is your sunbathing lady here in Currumbin, and let's go for a walk and talk. And boy, I just didn't expect it, but I looked out into the water, and there was a whale that was breaching out there, and I can't imagine that I'll be able to pick it up with my camera, but I still saw it. And in the next week I'm going to be up in a spot where there's going to be an abundance of whale activity, or so I've been told, and so I hope. But this is Currumbin Beach, and it was about a 15-minute drive from where I was situated up in called Varsity Lakes, or Varsity Lake, up in the Gold Coast. And to the best of my knowledge, this is still considered the Gold Coast right here. But I just want to do a little bit of a walk and talk and share some of this beach with you. And even though it's a holiday weekend, boy, this beach is just pretty empty. There's a few people here, but not all that many. And I am looking for a spot where I might put on a swimsuit, if not a wetsuit, and go out into the water myself. But for right now, I'm just going to do what I like to do best, and that's walk and talk. So it's actually the second walk on the beach that I've taken today. Here's a dog just sitting here with his ball. He had his ball in his mouth, I think, hoping that he would have somebody to play with him. But I guess not. So, and I would imagine, looking at it, that it's actually low tide right now. You can see the water is quite a ways out. And there is a spot just up ahead. I think it's called, I'd have to look, but I think it's called Chimney Rock or something to that extent. And boy, look how nice this looks. This really, really looks like a nice place to just go into the water and splash around a little bit. I see a woman that just went out right here and is doing just that. All the while that I'm walking, I'm trying to scan the water line to see if I see another whale. This is I believe it's still early spring right now, and the whales are finding their way from down south of Australia by the Arctic, or is it the Antarctic? but finding their way from south of Australia up the coast, and they'll hug both coasts of the continent of Australia, the west and the east, and as they do, they'll put on some really good shows as they're swimming along. Not sure what this gentleman has. This looks like a windsurfer right here, and off in the distance where I'm going to be walking, there's another individual with a kite that's up. Look at this guy, and he's got the wetsuit on, and there's his board right over there, kind of like a kite. Actually haven't seen one of those before. Very nice. And here's his board right here. You can see they've got a boat just out there going along, and they're probably looking for sharks. There's been quite a bit of shark activity going on along the coast. I think there was even a fatality all not that long ago, just about 20 kilometers from here. Still trying to wrap my head around the whole kilometer thing. You know, I don't know what's a little bit more challenging, the kilometer thing or the Celsius. You know, that's I've kind of gotten used to the Celsius. I know what's a nice day and what's not. You know, anything well above 15 degrees Celsius, I can live with that. But you start to get down well below 15, and then you're talking Melbourne down south, and Melbourne will have a much cooler winter than you might see up here in beautiful Queensland. So I've been only walking a total of 7 minutes, and I would imagine that this should ultimately make for a rather nice video. I'm just going to walk up just a little bit this way. I'd be tempted to fly my drone around here, but there is a airport not too far from here, and that saying that says it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission, I don't think that would go over too well with the Australian Federal Aviation Commission, or whatever you want to call it. Look at that water. Look how beautiful that water is. And you see a mix, interestingly enough, when you're looking at folks out in the water. You'll see a fair mix between people that are wearing a wetsuit and people that aren't. And I don't know necessarily that I'll wear a wetsuit or not, but look at the rocks right here. This gives a lot of meaning to the expression "on the rocks." More expression to me than it used to. I used to drink, and there might have been a time or two when I would have said, "Give it to me on the rocks." But now, on the rocks just basically means that I'm doing a walk and talk video, and usually nothing more. Now here is some ladies over here that are sunbathing. And here's the rock. I don't know what they call this. I want to say they call it the chimney. I could be mistaken. You could look on the map. Boy, it's a beautiful day. Currumbin Beach. Now look at this. Look at how this opens up so beautifully. Right over here. And just off in the distance you can see the high rises of Surfer's Paradise. Wonderful. Boy, this is really nice. Tomorrow I'm going to find my way down to a spot that's called Noosa Heads. Look at that. And I'll find my way just down over this way. I think I'm actually going to go head to a spot called Burley Heads Beach, and that's where I'm going to see if I can't get into the water down over there. Although this looks like a really wonderful spot. Just look at that vast stretch of beach right there. Fantastic. Here's another view of the rock here. All right. And there's actually a waterway that goes inland. I don't know if it's a river or not, but you could look on a map perhaps and be able to actually see that. Very nice. Currumbin Beach. I think it's spelled Currumbun, if I'm not mistaken. See a lot of rocks here. What a nice place. Boy, as I'm filming this, you just wouldn't know. You know, you just wouldn't think of all the crazy stuff happening around the world. It just seems like another day at the beach here. Gals coming in from the water there with their surfboard overhead. Maybe I tried surfing once when I was up in Hawaii. I had to think about that for a moment. Geographically speaking, I was tried surfing once when I was up in Hawaii, and I can't recall how well I did. Earlier on this trip, I actually tried the stand-up paddleboard, and that would have been up in Airlie Beach with the ever so beautiful and lovely Michelle, who encouraged me to get up on the paddleboard. And I'm actually quite glad that I did. This water here, you can see it's low tide. Here comes some kids getting their boogie boards ready to go out into the water there. All right, folks. So I think that is, I think that's your tour of Currumbin. Ay caramba. There's your tour of Currumbin Beach. So have a great day.